This is Chapter 2, first chapter of the year, Lesson 2.1. The first thing we're going to look at is what a definition is. A definition is a statement that clarifies or explains the meaning of a word or phrase. Now, in geometry, we start with three undefined terms. These are terms so basic that it's tough to define them without using the other of the two, any other of the three words. So we can start with point, line, and plane. That's the basis of all geometry. Now, a point is a basic unit in geometry. It's infinitely small and has only location. I'll make a point P to the right there. So point P, although it looks like it has a little bit of width and a little bit of height, it is actually infinitely small. It's so small that you can't actually see it. So in geometry, we just represent it with a dot, but it's not actually that big. Now, a line is an arrangement of points. So if I take a whole bunch of points, like so, they'll eventually go in a straight line. Now, line, I'll have to take this, and a line goes in both directions forever. So it's a straight arrangement, meaning it keeps going in one direction, or keeps going in both directions forever. There we go. Now it should be alright. Alright, and what this line is it's actually an infinite amount of points on this line. Because points are infinitely small, this has no height. That line is actually so infinitely thin that we actually can't even see it. But we represent it with a line so we know where it's at. A plane is a flat surface that has length and height, but no thickness. We can represent the plane like this. Where it has length and height, but it's so thin it actually doesn't exist. But we'll represent it like that. And sometimes it's represented like that. So these are examples of a plane. It's just like a flat sheet of paper, but it's like a sheet of paper so thin that it doesn't exist. It's just, and it goes in all directions, up, down, left, and right, but it has no thickness. Now, if we want to name a line, like this line here, there's two ways we can name it. This is line TV, and we have to show that it's a line and it's going to go in both directions forever. So we make a line on top with an arrow on both ends. We could also name this line VT. These are both acceptable names for this line. Now this line, we can name CA. We could name it AC. We could name it AT. We could name it TA. We could name it CT. Or we could name it TC. The one thing that we cannot name it is CAT or TAC. A line is only represented with two capital letters. So we cannot name this with any more than two letters. lines are just designated with 2 letters. Now, collinear points are 2 or more points that lie on the same line. If I wanted to make an example, I could draw my line here. Gotta put one more. Oop. Here we go. Now it should have both sides. Wonderful. So collinear points, we could have 3 points on the same line. C, A, B. Those 3 points are collinear points. A and B are collinear, A and C are collinear. All you need is 2 to be collinear. Coplanar points are 2 or more points that lie on the same plane. So if I have a plane here, I could have A, B, and C. Now space is the set of all points. So space would be our 3-dimensional space. So anything in our 3-dimensional world, we could put a point on, and since space is all the dimensions that we can understand, that includes all of the points. So a line segment is 2 points and all the points between them that lie on the same line. So let's see what that means. If we have this point, call it A, this point, call it B, and if we want to fill in all of the points in between them, we can just use this. There we go. Those are all the points between A and B. Now there's two ways we can name this line segment. We can say this is AB. Now we're not going to want to put arrows on the end because they don't go forever to the right and forever to the left. So we'll just have AB with segments on top. And here we'll have BA with a segment on top.